Hey guys, this is Naomi, and this is Module 5 discussion. The first question was using the text, discuss the assimilation process. If you are currently working, talk about how you were assimilated into your most recent job or how you participated in the assimilation process of bringing a new employee into your organization. So the assimilation process, it's the process that you go through when entering a new workplace. According to the text on page 100, it's referred to as the adjustment or the settling in period where you learn the culture of the organization. The text theorizes that your job satisfaction should increase if you successfully assimilate into the organization's culture. So essentially, assimilation is adopting the culture of the majority and pretty much becoming like them in terms of value, your behavior, and the business practices. Currently, I am self employed as a delivery driver, so there wasn't really an assimilation process other than the technical duties. But in previous jobs, like when I worked in the casinos and bars where the environment is culturally diverse, it's very fast paced, and the process is that as well. It's just really fast. Everything is super quick, a lot of information overload, communication is fast, so your listening skills are really important because not being an active listener will literally cost the company and yourself money. From an organizational standpoint, when hiring new employees, it's important that they fit into the vision and values within the company, which is usually determined during an interview process. There are a lot of effective ways to help a new hire become more comfortable within the organization. This can be mentorships, mentor programs, pretty much where each new hire gets assigned someone that they can turn to when issues occur or when they have questions. Another way that I have been involved in is shadowing, which is another form of mentoring, except you're right by the new hire side for immediate attention. This is pretty stress inducing, but very effective depending on what field. The second question asks, using our text as the basis for your response, discuss how one can analyze if they are assertive or responsive. Why is self-analysis helpful in identifying the cultural style and perception of a person? So people often mistake being assertive with aggressiveness, and it's important to be able to differentiate the two in order to have meaningful understandings, especially while resolving conflicts. Instead of having aggressive behavior or completely withdrawing from a conversation, you should try and express yourself openly, honestly, but also reflect a genuine concern for others through your verbal and nonverbal cues. Page 109 gives you tools for professional excellence and certain examples of how to say things. I was always taught that, for example, if you start a confrontation with, well, you did this or that, then it most likely will end negatively. Sorry, it's late. But if you word it differently and say something like, I felt this way when you did this or that, it always comes across as more understanding. Rewording and playing through sentences in your head and self-analyzing your message in order to recognize how the other person might perceive the message is important, especially when you're trying to be an effective communicator in the workplace. You're also letting them know in a way that you expect them to respond appropriately as well and not in a defensive manner. And you're showing them respect by having empathy, and that's where your tone and your pitch of your voice matters. Through self-analysis, you can realize that how you say something is equally important as the message itself. Also, make sure to ask for feedback. Listen carefully to the other person so you can respond back appropriately as well. The third question was, according to our authors, what strategies are necessary when adapting to gender difference in the workplace? What are the conversational rituals followed by men and women in the workplace? Men and women are different cultures, as explained in the text, page 110, and they communicate differently. explains how women often add tag questions to their statements, and by doing this, they come off as more inviting in conversation building, which in turn helps build rapport, strengthens relationship among coworkers, and men are seen as more blunt and to the point, and most times comes off as more assertive and not as open. The text also explains that another difference between men and women and how they speak is the detail. Women like to give more detail and information, while men only say what they think is important or the highlight of what is being said. Understanding the cultural differences between genders can help you to communicate more appropriately and avoid any false stereotypes. The fourth question of the module is to evaluate why comparing and contrasting is considered the best way to understand generational communication. Make sure you cite your words. There are differences in values, beliefs, and opinions between the different generations, especially now more than ever. We see as many as 5 different generations in the workplace, with people living a lot longer. So understanding the difference is important in order to recognize other communication efforts and in order to accommodate other people when you're talking to them, especially in settings where there are multiple generations. There are certain problems that can occur in the workplace when stereotyping. Certain generations, for example, traditionalists or baby boomers, they tend to be less skilled technologically as opposed to millennials or Generation Z, and may not have as strong of verbal communication skills as, say, Generation Z might not be able to have as strong communication skills as Generation X. There are several ways to understand your colleagues who may not be in the same generation as you, and one way is by asking the person what they value and how they prefer to work so that you have a deeper understanding of how to communicate with them. You can also bring it up in a meeting that you think it's a good idea for everyone to kind of share respectfully what would make the workplace more supportive for them if they're having issues. It's also important to recognize your own biases when communicating to people in different generations. Make sure to treat people as individuals rather than as a whole when it comes to stereotyping and our generational differences. So there is my video. Look forward to seeing your guys's and any feedback. Thank you.